You just tell us who is George Wright. Are you from Westmoreland? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm from Westmoreland. I'm from a little community called Caledonia, going towards Darliston section there. Growing up as a little youth, mother used to sell in the market. I used to be there with my mom until, I built a little cart and start to push cart, carrying goods for the people, to and from the market to their home and from the store to their home. So, the transition starts right there. Yes, sir. And then after finish, pushing the hand cart, get a lot of experience there in driving and, in the town. I leave from there and then I started to drive minibus. I used to run minibus from South to Negril and from South to Kingston, 86. While driving minibus, I used to transport a lot of tourists, and at them time I used to call those tourists hippie.
So you started out by pushing handcart to the market, and then by doing so, you transition into
driving.
Is it because you were in the market where the buses were, and how that transition came?
Well, actually, driving cart in the town of Saglamar, them time, a lot of, vehicles. So you have to know to reverse. You have to know how to drive to go through, and you don't scratch other people's vehicles and stuff like that. So it really give you an experience there. And from there, I went and, I get applied for a driver's license, and then you have to drive for that as well. So I did get a good size PPV license, so I could, carry passengers. So from there, I started to drive bus to Negril, from South to Negril. And that was like a fun. It's more of a job, but it was like fun to me, because then, driving there, carrying the people, you're meeting a lot of people, and from there, I decided that, okay, then I'm gonna do some business there in Negril. So I started doing some work there in Negril, where I start, to rent bicycles, and then, starting a little tailoring there, because back then, flower used to come in that white bag there.
Yes, flower bag.
So I used to use those flower bags to make pants and shirts for those tourists.
Hold on. I'm coming. George?
Yes, sir.
What?
Also a shoemaker.
This is getting interesting. The man was a push cart man. Went into tailoring, and you also made slippers. You're talking about those stuff that the tourists would go crazy over, huh?
Yes, sir. Also used to do baking there as well.
No, I don't know if anybody recognized that the resume of MP Wright is getting thicker and thicker as the minute go by.
In Negril, where I start, to rent bicycles, and then, starting a little tailoring there, because back then, flower used to come in that white bag there.
Yes, flower bag.
So I used to use those flower bags to make pants and shirts for those tourists.
Hold on.
And I also used to make slippers as well.
So you're a tailor, George?
Yes, sir.
What?
Also a shoemaker.
This is getting interesting. The man was a push cart man. Went into driving bus. Went into tailoring. And you also made slippers. You're talking about those stuff that the tourists would go crazy over, huh?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And I also used to do baking there as well.
Wow. No, I don't know if anybody recognized that the resume of MP Wright is getting thicker and thicker as the minute go by.
I'm also a mechanic by profession. Auto mechanic.
MP, slow down a second.
Yes.
Let me see if we can recap again. So we started out pushing cart. Then we move into driving bus.
Bus, yes.
Then we move into tailoring. Then we started to make flip-flops.
Yes.
Then we did a little bit of baking. And on top of that, we're still an auto mechanic.
Yes, sir.
This is coming from the bowels of the grassroots, as they would say. Carry on, my friends. So we're a mechanic now.
As I reached to the point where I said I used to be in Negril, making pants and shirts for those tourists. And then we moved from there and I started renting motorcycles. And from the motorcycles, I started renting motor cars. Here in about 2000, I decided to enter into used parts business, where that take another toll, you know.
Yes.
And was going good.
Yes.
After which I started to sell used vehicles.
Wow. So this is a journey.
Getting very popular in the parish and more so, you know, island wide, you know, because then start to sell in the used parts and used vehicles, you get people from all walks of life.
Yes.
You know. Yes. So right there and then, you know, I've been approached by both sides.
And it's both sides talking about the JLP and the PNP.
Right, to enter into politics.
Right.
So right there and then, you know, I try to do a little homework for myself to analyze, you know, which is the party that I would consider, you know, representing. So I do some research there, and you know, I think about the parish and the constituency which I reside in.
Yeah.
And then I make my decision, because then, of course, it was a constituency that was neglected, and you know, there was no form of development taking place there, which is a fact where everybody would have known that.
Yes.
Right. So I decided to go with the Jamaica Labour Party. About 2014, 15 thereabout. You know, where, you know, I started to being involved. Right. But after a disappointed death there of one of our caretaker, or you know, MP caretaker there, you know, then I decided that okay, then I will give it a shot. And that was 2016. It was about February of 2016 where I ran for the Jamaica Labour Party, of course, and I lost there in 2016 February. I decided to stay with the people. You know, I mean, I wanted to represent the people them so badly that I decided to run as a councillor, campaigning as a councillor for the Petersfield division. And in February of the same 2016, I won the Petersfield seat.
Yes.
In November of 2016.